As our beloved Mayor Geno Martini leaves office, we wanted to spotlight not only his incredible tenure as councilman and then mayor, but his life growing up right here in the city of Sparks.
Well, growing up on the ranch was actually, I didn't think it was great at the time because I'd have rather been in the city playing whatever, sports or messing around with the kids, but you know, I had to work. I had chores I had to do ever since I was probably 8 or 9 years old. I had chores I had to do on the weekends, every week, every day, things that I had to do, but I got plenty of time to play sports. My folks made sure that they always made sure I got into town. I played Little League and Babe Ruth, and then I played football at Sparks and baseball at Sparks, and played some basketball and stuff like that. So I didn't think it was a great life growing up until I got older, and I look back on it, and now I realize what a great upbringing I had. You know, I learned at a young age how to be respectful to other people, how to be on time, which was always good, punctual. You always wanted to be punctual. So that's why I'm such a stickler for when we start meetings that are supposed to be at 10 o'clock. I want to start 10 o'clock, not 10:05 or 10:15. They start at 10 or whatever schedule. That's the time that I like to start. So as I look at it now, it was a great life upbringing. I had a good time, and the ranch was good to me. As I got older, I had the nice chore of getting up at 4:30 in the morning, sometimes a little later, sometimes a little earlier, and taking hay out to the cattle in the fields because there was snow on the ground. There was nothing for them to eat. So I would, after I got off of school, this was during the winter time, I would have to load up a truck, a 1-ton truck with a bunch of bales of hay. I'd load it up, me and my brother, or me by myself, whatever. And then in the mornings I'd get up at 4:30 and jump in the old truck and drive down the fields and feed the cattle. You know, the bales it was kind of a neat deal. My grandfather had this pickup. It was a 48 Ford pickup. It was a 1-ton, like I said, had a flatbed on it. So he rigged it up with the one tire on the driver's side was a little bit bigger than the other tire on the front, so it made it turn in a big wide circle. So they had a low gear called compound in the old days in those trucks. It was just a real low gear, and you could set the truck or set it into compound, let it start it, and let the clutch out and go. And then I could jump out. It would go real slow. Jump out of the truck, get up on the bed of the truck where the bales of hay were, and I could cut the baling wire off them and knock them off into the field for the cows. And then the truck would just run in a big wide circle, and then when I was done getting the hay off, I would jump down off the bed of the truck, get back in the truck, and drive away. So it was kind of a neat deal. 7, 8, 9 years old is when I started. I learned how to drive when I was 10 because I drove a tractor. I could drive any kind of tractor we had on the ranch. I drove the old pickup, was one of the things I drove. And so, you know, I learned a lot of good things that I used later on in life. You know, I tried to teach my daughter how to drive, and it made me crazy. I couldn't figure out why she had such a difficult time learning how to drive, and then I realized, well, I learned when I was 10 out in the middle of a field, so I couldn't hurt anything. You know, you'd run over whatever and not hurt anything. So just little things like that I look back on were good memories for me and good things that I got to learn at an early age. The family started with the grandparents. My dad's parents came over from Italy in the 20s, and they had some friends and relatives that migrated here also, that they came to the same area. So my grandfather bought a ranch, and that was the ranch we had in Sparks. My mom's still alive. She's 97. You know, she drove her car until she was 95. You know, I always kidded about her when I talked with people or was making presentations and talked about my family. I always talked about how my mother was 95 and still driving, and I said, well, of course I wouldn't ride with her because it was a little scary, but no, she was a good driver and until she was 95. Now she's 97, lives with my daughter in a mother-in-law's quarters with my daughter in Sparks. And my daughter worked for Channel 2 for 20 years. She's retired now, has a grandson, my light of my life, Elio. Good kid. You know, I just love the little kid. He's 7 years old now. and I call him Tremoto. In Italian, Tremoto means earthquake, because whenever he's out and going, the earth actually, I'm not kidding you, the earth actually shakes. I mean, he runs and goes, and he just has so much energy. I don't know how he can do what he does, but he's a great kid. I love him. Everything that I did from my freshman year to my senior year, everything I did revolved around high school. My friends, sports, activities. I was in a lot of different plays and things like that. I was in some clubs and things like that. So everything that weekends, we used to go out and drag Maine in downtown Reno. And it was all my friends from high school, So, and I still have a lot of those kids are still around, and a lot of them are still my friends. So. I loved high school. I mean, to me, those were great years. Sure, I graduated from high school in '64, went to the University of Nevada, and I tell people that's probably the best 8 years of my life. You're not supposed to go to college for 8 years, but I was having a little bit too much fun at the fraternity house. I was an SAE, Sigma Alpha Epsilon. So I graduated in '72 finally. A friend of mine worked at First National Bank then, different from the one that we have now. That was the original bank was First National. But I learned how to be a banker from the bottom up, and then I moved up to be an operations officer, and then I learned credit and lending, and did car loans and house loans and commercial loans to businesses, construction loans, all kinds of stuff like that. So. Very, very rounded business, and I felt like I knew banking very, very well, and I still think that. Well, when I got appointed, Tony Armstrong asked me if I would fill out his 2 years if he were elected mayor. So he ran for mayor, became mayor, and Tony wanted me to get on the council because I was a business guy. I knew the business community. I was a business person. I liked business, and I could talk to people in business. I knew finance and that kind of stuff. So I thought I brought something, or he thought I might bring something different to the council that wasn't there then, and that was my finance knowledge. And I thought I was doing something special that made a difference with the council. So that's why I decided to run again and stay on the council. And then, of course, when Tony passed away, I was the mayor pro tem and became mayor. So. That actually, the finance knowledge that I had, I think really, really set me up to become a valuable part of the city council and being the mayor. Fondest memories, just the people that I've met during this job. You meet great people. And after you've been mayor for a while, people start to recognize you when you go to the store and shopping and things like that. And so many people come up and say, thank you for the job you did. You've done a great job. The city looks good. This, and the parks look good. Streets are fine. This and that. And there's always special people. I remember I was in Costco one time, and this lady came up to me and said, how are you? My name is so-and-so. I know who you are. And she said, I can see do you mind if I pray for you? And I said, no. And I said, please do. And those are the kind of things that one of those makes up for 20,000 of the people that are upset or complain or whatever. I mean, those are the good things, I think, that I enjoyed. And, we did a lot of good work. One of the regional things we did, I think, when I was on the council, is we bought the water company, and we formed Tumwa, which has been a great asset for the two cities in the county. And what I'm most proud about with Tumwa? It's always been, the chairman of the Tumwa Board of Directors has always been from Sparks. Well, Julie, I'm going to miss the people. The people are just awesome. What they've done for me, it's pretty easy to figure out. I've had a few problems, health problems in my life here. The last 3 years have been pretty difficult as far as getting around the things that have happened to me. So the people here have just been terrific, you know, starting right with yourself and Cindy, and Steve Driscoll's been great, Neil Cruz, John Martini, of course, been great. You know, everybody is wanting to help you and to get you through the process here. And it, you know, I always complain about myself being too needy. You know, it's tough to go anywhere without somebody helping me out, because I gotta have a wheelchair, I gotta have a little scooter or something to get around. It's kind of a pain in the rear end of me to have to depend on people all the time. But the people at City of Sparks have been tremendous to me, and I'll always remember that. I'll never ever forget any of the people that I've met here. The people that work here is what makes this city strong, the city government strong. That's what drives people like myself to be the mayor. People like Ron Smith coming up that's going to be the mayor. Council people, Chris Gere, Ed Lawson, Donald Abbott, and Charlene Bybee. You know, and the people from the past that have been here, they're good, solid people. They want to make a difference, and they do. They do because of you, the people, the employees that work here. So, you know, we're nothing without you folks, and I want you to know that. My relationship with this city is because I enjoy working with people, and you people are the best.